Hello and welcome to this short refresher of measure, shape and space at level 1 and 2 for legacy functional skills. My name is Charmaine Phelps and I'm the Curriculum Officer for Maths Functional Skills here at NCFE. We have a lot to cover in this session, so if you need to pause the recording at any point, please do so. We'd recommend that you use the video alongside the accompanying activity booklets to check understanding after each section. We're not covering the full curriculum at level 1 and 2, simply the parts of the curriculum that Chief Examiner reports have found that learners most struggle with. In part A, we looked at units of measurement and conversions. This session will cover perimeter, area, and volume. At level 1, we're going to focus on working out area and perimeter in practical situations. At level 2, we're going to focus on recognize and use 2D representations of 3D objects and find area, perimeter, and volume of common shapes. The perimeter of a shape is the distance around the edges or the boundary of the shape. Perimeter is measured in units of length, i.e. millimeters, centimeters, meters, and kilometers. So the perimeter is the distance around the edge. So if you ran around a football pitch, you'd be running around the perimeter, shown here in red. Another way to remember what perimeter means is that it includes the word rim. So if you think of a glass, it's the rim of the glass, the distance around the edge. To find the perimeter of a rectangle, simply add together the lengths for each side. A perimeter measurement is a linear measurement, so you don't need to add anything after the unit of measurement. For instance, unit squared or unit cubed. It would just be centimeters or meters. So in this example, we have a rectangle with size of 6 meters and 2 meters. We know that if this is 6 meters, then the opposite side is also 6 meters. And if this side is 2 meters, then the opposite side is also 2 meters. So in order to find the perimeter, we just add together 6, add 6, add 2, add 2, and that gives us 16 meters. So it's a linear measurement, meaning it's a straight line in a single dimension. So it's measured in meters, not meters squared or meters cubed. It's best to teach this as simply adding up the sides. If the learners do make the connection that they can calculate 2 times the length and 2 times the width to get the same answer, that's great, but don't teach this because it can lead to confusion between area and perimeter. To calculate the perimeter of a triangle, again, you simply add together the length of all 3 sides. This can be tricky if you're only given the length of 2 sides. So if you don't have the length of one side, you can work it out using the formula a squared plus b squared equals c squared, with c being the length of the hypotenuse. When you've calculated c squared, you'll then need to find the square root to find the length of c. So in this particular example, a is 4, b is 3, or it could just as easily be a is 3 and b is 4. It wouldn't make a difference to the calculation. So 4 times 4, 4 squared is 16. 3 times 3, or 3 squared, is 9. Add those together, we get 25. So we know now that c squared is equal to 25. So in order to find c, we need to find the square root of 25, and that equals 5. So if c equals 5, then to find the perimeter, we simply add 5 plus 4 plus 3, and we get 12 centimeters. The perimeter of a circle is known as a circumference. The formula to calculate this is pi d. D means diameter, and you can round pi to 3.14. So the circumference of this circle would be, with a diameter of 22 times 3.14 gives 69.08 centimetres. And remember, we can use a calculator for all of the legacy assessments. So 3.14 times 22 equals 69.08 centimetres. So that is the perimeter or the circumference of this circle. And this answer makes sense because if we draw a square around the circle, we know that the perimeter of the square would be 22, add 22, add 22, add 22, which would be 88 centimetres. And we can see that the perimeter of the circle is going to be less than this, but not by a great deal. So if a learner was to make a mistake of calculating pi times radius rather than pi times diameter, that would give a much lower answer, give an answer of 34.54 centimetres, which is definitely going to be incorrect because it's so much less than half of 88 centimetres. You may have to work out the perimeter of compound shapes. For example, this patio is an L shape. Not all of the lengths are shown on this diagram, so the first step is to work out what those lengths would be. So here we can see that 3 centimetres plus 4 centimetres gives us our 7 centimetres. And we can see that 11 centimetres take away 5 centimetres gives us 6 centimetres. And then it's simply a case of adding up all of the sides. So 11 plus 3 plus 6 plus 4 plus 5 plus 7 equals 36 centimetres. Now we'll take a look at area. The area is the space that a two-dimensional shape covers. Area is always measured in square units, such as centimetre squared, metre squared, or kilometre squared. So if we go back to our football pitch, the area is the space in the middle of the pitch, which we would measure in square metres. So here's a grid placed over. So it would be a case of counting all the squares or using a formula to calculate the area of the rectangle here, this football pitch. So to calculate the area of a rectangle, the formula for the area of a rectangle is length times width, where L equals length and W equals width. So as an example, Josh has got a new bedroom and he needs to buy carpet. How much carpet does he need to order for his room? So length 4 times 3 gives us 12. So he needs to order 12 meters squared of carpet. And it is very important to remember to write the squared symbol, or if you're in an online assessment and you can't write the squared symbol up high above, you can simply write 12M2 and that will be understood. Or if you wanted to, you could write 12M squared and that would also gain the mark. It's very important when you are calculating area that your measurements are in the same units before you do your calculation. So in this example, Stacey needs to order panels to cover the classroom ceiling. What area do the panels need to cover? So we've got the length is 750 centimetres and the width is 4 metres. So, but if we just typed into our calculator 750 times 4, that would give a very, very large and incorrect answer. So first we need to calculate, convert the 750 centimetres into metres. We know there are 100 centimetres in 1 metre, So we divide by 100 and that gives us 7.5 meters. So 7.5 times 4 is 30 meter squared. The area of a triangle is calculated using the formula a half BH, with a half being with B being the base and H being height. So this means you need to divide the base B of the triangle by 2 and then multiply by the height H of the triangle. Or alternatively, you could multiply the base by the height and then divide the whole answer by 2. So here we've got 10 centimeters divided by 2 equals 5. 8 centimeters times 5 equals 40 centimeters squared. So that's the area of the triangle. And by drawing a rectangle around the triangle, you can easily see how the formula a half BH has been derived. The area of a circle is calculated using the formula area equals pi r squared. Pi is the symbol known as pi and is equal to 3.14. R is the radius and is half the diameter of the circle. So the area of this circle will be, we've got the diameter, so we need to find the radius. So 12 divided by 2 equals 6, because radius is half the diameter. 6 squared is the same as 6 by 6, 6 times 6, which is 36. 36 times 3.14 equals 113.04 centimetre squared. And again, this can be sense checked by drawing a square around the circle and calculating that area as 12 times 12, which gives 144 centimetres squared. So if you compare 144 with the area of our circle, we can see that that looks about right, because the area of the circle is going to be slightly smaller, but not a great deal so. Now we'll take a look at volume. Volume is a measure that you can use to tell how much something will hold. Volume can be a solid measurement or a liquid measurement. So with this box, for instance, you might calculate the area at the volume of this box in centimetre cubed or metre cubed. Volume can also be shown as a liquid measurement, millilitres or litres. And when you're writing millilitres or litres, you don't need to write squared, because a millilitre is not a linear measurement. It's not a straight line. Millilitres and litres are measures of volume. So for example, you might say the volume of a packing case is 1,250 centimetre cubed, or that a swimming pool holds 120,000 litres. The volume of a cube or cuboid is calculated by using the formula V equals LWH. So length times width times height. So to calculate the area of a cube with size of 45 centimetres, you'd multiply 45 by 45 by 45, which gives an answer of 91,125 centimetre cubed. In this next example, we have a cuboid with sides measuring 2.3 metres, 1.2 metres, and 75 centimetres. Now, as we've said, the first step is to convert the 75 centimetres into metres by dividing by 100. That will give you 0.75 metres. And then we simply multiply the three numbers together. 2.3 times 0.75 times 1.2 equals 2.07 metre cubed. It doesn't matter which order you multiply the numbers, as the answer will be the same. When it comes to calculating the volume of a cylinder, the first thing to do is to find the area of the circle at the top and then multiply it by the height. So the formula for the area of the circle, or of the area of a cylinder, volume of a cylinder, is pi r squared times h. So that's just the area of the circle multiplied by the height, with pi usually shown as 3.14. So here we've got pi r squared times h. We're not given radius, we're given diameter. So we need to remember 22 divided by 2 equals 11. So we need to remember to divide by 2 to get the radius. Then to find r squared, 11 times 11 is 121. And then 121 times 3.14 is 379.94. And then if we multiply that by the height, 45 centimeters, it gives us an answer of 17,097.3 centimeter cubed. And again, when it comes to writing an answer like this in an online assessment, it's perfectly acceptable to simply write cm3, or you can write cm cubed. Either way is acceptable. So to summarize, we've taken a look at perimeter, which is a linear measurement around the edge of a shape. Area is the squared units that a shape covers, and volume is a cubed measurement of a solid object or a measure of liquid that would fill a container measured in litres or millilitres. Please use the activities in this recording alongside the activities in the accompanying bundle for perimeter, area and volume to support this recording. And if you have any questions, you can contact me by email, charmainePhelps@ncfe.org.uk. Thanks so much for your time. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.